Anita Tanaka wasn't aware that plants and animals lived in her hair. Her hair was so tall as Anita. You wouldn't believe unless you could meet her. Anita Tanaka just wasn't aware that plants grew out and creatures were there. A bat and a rat peeped out of a flat that nestled just under her hat. A mouse had a house and a toad an abode. Daffodils dangled and tulips showed. Anita Tanaka, no need for a comb. Her hair was a garden and also a home.
A mouse on holiday went walkabout. A very clever mouse, there is no doubt. Yes, this was the mouse who scared famous foes. The famous guy who everyone knows. The mouse told a tale on his return of a quoll and a quokka who had caused concern. The quoll and the quokka were runaways. This is the tale of those reckless strays. The quoll and the quokka were far from home, out in the outback where beasties roam.
Are we lost?
No, I'll ask that crocodile where to go.
Dinner, thought the crocodile, licking his lips. How may I help you, tasty quoll?
We're off to visit the kanga troll.
The kanga troll?
Yes.
The crocodile was rocked.
Yes, the kanga troll likes to sing the blues as he taps his feet in his crook-skin shoes.
He's 8 feet tall with smelly feet. He has a croc skin bag full of crocodile meat.
I see. Please go take the path. I think it's time for my evening bath.
With the flick of his tail, the croc was gone. 2 hearts raced and the sun shone on. Now Quoll and Quokka could take no more. They had fooled that croc, that was for sure. So they rolled in fits of laughter on the outback floor. Then evening came, the mouse relayed. The warmth of the day began to fade. With the croc now gone, the night was safe. When morning came, the path was clear, and so to the rhythm of a marching band, Quoll and Quokka strolled hand in hand. As they paused, cheek by jowl, they heard a scary, mighty howl. Standing at the foot of Uluru by the glow of a fire as they came in view, to the great surprise of Quokka and Quoll, they were face to face with a kanga troll.
I am the king of Quokka and Quoll, and to eat you both will heal my soul.
Not on your Nelly, these two won't fit in your big belly.
The kanga troll reeled. The mouse said boo, and the kanga troll ran. He ran as far as a kanga troll can. Now all was bonza in the evening breeze. The Quoll and the Quokka were now at ease. The mouse had done all he could. He had finished the tale, and the tale was good.
The Squeedly Tweedler had flolloping flippers, which fitted quite neatly in fluffy blue slippers, simply adapted to searching for food, a strangety willoping flibbery dude. His passion, his fashion was bilberry pie, and oh, for a snifter he'd longingly sigh. Squeedly Tweedler would fargle and blither, to the bilberry bush he'd slantily slither. But ne'er on a Monday and ne'er in June would the Squeedly Tweedler a bilberry prune, for bilberry had to be purpley ripe, or the Squeedly Tweedler's tummy would gripe. He picked them and snicked them and slobbered in glee, then frugally baked some in pastry for tea. Then Squeedly Tweedler would off with his trove and slantily slither to Niggly Grove. There he would trade with Bimble O'Nimble for flimbery jam purveyed by the thimble. Bimble O'Nimble was blighty and blear. He often wore hats through which he would peer. Bimble O'Nimble would skaggle and skeek for many a mile to flimbery seek. Oddly in June his fare would abound, and only on Mondays was easily found. But all became clear, for their prize was the same bilberry, flimbery. What's in a name? So Squeedly Tweedler and Bimble O'Nimble, their pie and their jam purveyed in a thimble. It seems we're in tune, their tastes much alike did gobble and gibble and cheer with a shrike.
Mungo Tweet had purple feet and a bulbous wobbly belly. With pointy ears and beady eyes, oh blimey, he was smelly. His steamy pants attracted ants and other crawly creatures. and some of those crawled up his nose to complement his features. Yet Mungo Tweet was very neat, unfeasibly tidy. He'd fold his clothes and trim his toes and comb his beard on Friday. On Saturday and Sunday, though, he liked to take a break. He'd sit at home and wallow in mountains of nice cake. So when it came to Monday, 'twas a really different matter. Mungo Tweet was not too well, and 20 inches fatter. Thus was the life of Mr. Mungo Tweet, a very special fellow. But every time I think of him, I'm afraid I turn quite yellow.
You can't say zoo to a blue gnu. How dare you, he will say to you. Blue gnus have feelings too, and he may cry, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, but just because he's feeling blue, it's not polite, I say to you. To try and scare a blue gnu, why do you do it? Why do you? It's not quite right. I think that's true to even whisper that word zoo. It isn't something to pursue, it isn't something blue gnus do. I bid you do not follow through with further use of the Z taboo. I emphasize, do not poo-poo the impact on a blue gnu. But if, like some, you must persist, with words like zoo, you don't desist. He will have you for a feast, this blue gnu, this wildebeest. Velveteen Tizzard, when caught in a blizzard to her misfortune, bumped into a wizard. The wizard Izzard, yes, nasty old Izzard. He turned poor Velveteen into a lizard. Said Velveteen Tizzard, now lizard to Izzard. You turn me back or I'll have your gizzard. The wizard considered the request from the lizard. He hopped and pranced for a moment and dithered. But Izzard ignored her demand. So Velveteen Tizzard made mince of that wizard. She gobbled his gizzard, and off she slithered. Her day was not quite as she'd planned.
Gather round, little sproutlings. I'm Old Sprout McGee, and boy, do I have a tale for you about those strange creatures called children. Now, it's mighty hard to talk about us Brussels sprouts without mentioning our, popularity among the young ones. It seems we're nothing but little cabbages of horror to them. No advantages, they say, except making children's faces scrunch up like old newspaper. But wait, what's this? A child actually enjoying a sprout? Well, I'll be a wilted leaf. Maybe there's hope for us yet, little sproutlings. Remember, even the humblest sprout can surprise you. So stand tall and proud, my little green friends. Who knows? Maybe one day children will yearn for sprouts. Nah, who am I kidding?
Jolliphant Siliphant. Lived by the sea. He wasn't an elephant. How could he be? Jolliphant Siliphant. Liked to climb trees. Not that it's relevant. He'd knobbly knees. Jolliphant Siliphant. Came from afar, a distance equivalent, to France from Qatar. Jolliphant Siliphant. Friendly was he, Jolliphant Siliphant. Lived by the sea.
Eric the Coot was a big galoot. A big galoot was he. He liked to wear big army boots and stomp around, you see. He liked to tread on people's toes. It could be you or me. With heavy-duty toe caps, his boots went on a spree. Eric the Coot had 2 webbed feet. Proud of them was he. He liked to leave bare footprints for all the folk to see. Eric's reputation was now known far and wide. He now had the attention of welly-booted Clyde. Clyde had hobnailed wellies, his footprints oh so wide. His ego was extensive, of that I can confide. So a showdown came soon after. They faced each other's souls, then stomped upon each other till their boots were full of holes. When the dust had settled, they both lay on the ground. They both had purple toes, yet neither had been crowned.